everyone. My name is John Callison. I'm the founder of Over30Cosplay, and I am ecstatic to have you, our audience, and possibly new members out there looking at what we have to say and seeing, what we're all about. And to that regard, Over30Cosplay is a global advocacy group for costumers from 30 to 90. We make sure anything that you want to do, anything that you want to create, you have the means, the support, the education, experience to do it. And if we can't do it for you, we have tons of other members that are professional costumers, professional makeup artists, global, award-winning people, Guinness Book of World Record, costume holders, whatever, that can show you how to do whatever you're looking at doing. And to that effect, I'd like to introduce you to an awesome prop maker that is known for many different movies, including Pirates of the Caribbean. Here's Tony Swatton.
Display case, I have a lot of screen used or prototype weapons that I've made for a variety of films. Everything from the Spear of Destiny from Constantine to a dagger from The Crow, City of Angels, to a dagger for Jack Sparrow in a spoof movie, so he didn't actually have this dagger in Pirates of the Caribbean. This sword was from Highlander 4. You can tell it was in 2000, hence it's so dusty. This is Zorro's sword from the Zorro movies with Antonio Banderas. Ah! This is Cronin's sword from Hellboy. Probably worth quite a lot before I dropped it. This is Wesley Snipes' sword from Blade. One of the 600 katanas I made for Last Samurai. This is Fandrel's sword from Thor from 2009. And this is Sweet Pea's shoulder armor from Sucker Punch. I made the sword for Spam-A-Lot. This can of Spam Light, it's only 44% fat, is signed by Tim Curry. So I have a great job. I get a chance to meet these people. Dinky D dog food from Mad Max, signed by Vernon Wells. Wes, you can run but you can't hide. So kind of fun. And just tons of stuff. Where are we at? Welcome to Comic-Con Virtual 2020. You're in my showroom. My name's Tony Swatton. This is the Sword in the Stone, hence the Sword in the Stone. And I have been making suits of armor for film and television and music videos and video games for the last 30 years professionally. I started my business at the age of 15, cutting gemstones and making jewelry. Hence, that's why it's the sword and the stone, with the gemstones and the swords. In some years I make as many as 1,000 swords for different film productions. And right now you can see a variety of armor. If you look at the small child suit of armor here on the side, this was built about a decade ago for a McDonald's commercial to fit a 5-year-old. This armor was built in 4 days, and that's all metal. That's all made out of aluminum. The armor above it was made a little bit earlier, probably around 2003 or 2005, for Michael Eisner from Wonderful World at Disney to wear. And he did an introduction to Connecticut Yankee and King Arthur's Court while wearing this armor. If you come back in here, this black armor on the side was made for John Cleese for an episode of Third Rock from the Sun. If you'd like to see how I create the armor, where did I put it? I thought maybe I brought it in the back. Stop it from there. If you'd like to see how I make the armor, I made this helmet right in here for an episode of Stan Winston's School of Character Arts in prop armor manufacturing. So you can go to their website and download this and see how I created this. This was built in an afternoon. So if you'd like to see how I make the other weapons, if you haven't already, there's a variety of web shows I did. Man-at-Arms through the Awe Me channel on YouTube. You can see me making 40 different weapons from that, including Zelda's sword and Thor's hammer, Wolverine's claws, and quite a bit more. Then I did a series for Blizzard Entertainment for their World of Warcraft called Azeroth Armory, where I created the Warglaives of Azeroth and Gorehowl and Doomhammer and a few other pieces. So we're good. I'm going to show you some of the props, the more iconic props and costumes that I've made over the 30 years of my career. Starting off in 1991, I created the hook for the movie Hook. This is that hook. This is sterling silver with a forged steel top piece that comes off, and it's all hand engraved. 2003, I made this sword you may recognize. This is Johnny Depp's sword from Pirates of the Caribbean. This is a screen use piece that was used on the film set. So another kind of iconic piece. In 2013, I did a web series called Man-at-Arms. During Man-at-Arms, I created 40 iconic weapons, including Thor's hammer, Sokka's meteor blade from Last Airbender. This piece here has 512 layers of meteoritic iron in it. It's over $6,000 in materials to make this blade. This is the Master Sword from Zelda, also created for Man-at-Arms. My initial training was in gem cutting and jewelry, so from there I went into making knives and suits of armor. This chalice was made for 50 Cent for his PIMP video. This is made out of, hammered out of bronze, out of sheet of bronze, set with sterling silver with rhinestones surrounding it, so kind of a unique piece. Kind of a recognizable crown. This is not one used in Game of Thrones, but it is Joffrey's crown from Game of Thrones that was used for the Academy Awards for, I'm trying to think of the guy's name. But anyways, he wore it, you know, very regal kind of look here. I have a couple other films coming up soon. They've kind of been put on hold a bit due to the recent pandemic. But last year we worked on Space Jam 2. This is part of LeBron James' elbows for his armor from the Hound from Space Jam. I don't know when that's going to be released, but kind of a neat little piece there. This sword right in here, this is a prototype piece from a sword that's in production. This broadsword is a prototype sword from Macbeth with Denzel Washington. Production shut down in March, and so hopefully we'll see this sometime next year. And finally, another little goodie. This production was supposed to start last week to be filmed in July 15th. They pushed it back to later on this year for production starting up. This is a prototype I built in the beginning of the year for Black Adam, the DC Comics Warner Brothers film starring Dwayne Johnson. I don't know if they'll be using this particular weapon in the film. They've done some rewrites due to large crowds of people, but just a little bit of what I've worked on. If you want to pan around here, you can see a variety of sexy armor. This was made mostly for a calendar I did with heavy metal in 2015. And so I have chainmail outfits. This chainmail outfit right here was worn by Alyssa Milano in an episode of Charmed. There's, you know, quite a bit of history in all of these pieces through here. Welcome to the workshop. This is the forge. This is where the magic happens. Off on this side I have grinding and polishing equipment, and then to my left is all the sheet metal fabricating equipment to make the armor in the fast lead time that I have. Over here is kind of a cool tool. This is a forging hammer built in 1945. It also makes toothpicks. So in this workshop, I have over 500 hand hammers, as well as these mechanical forging hammers and sheet metal hammers on this side. And you can see through here are a variety of swords that I'm working on for various productions or for private commissions, as well as off to the side a bunch of battle axes being worked on. So this is the toy shop where the magic happens.
So thank you, Tony, for that, you know, great talk, great discussion on props. Thank you, Bill, for fixing these for me if I mess up.
Yay!
Right?
Yay, Tony!
We'd like to talk to Mary Swanson. Mary Schwacker. She's one of our leading cosplayers and does a tremendous amount of charity cosplay. She's been an Over 30 member for at least 5 years now, and you've seen her all over the place. Mary, would you please talk about charity?
Hello, Mary Schwacker with the Over 30 Cosplay panel today at the San Diego Con at Home 2020, and thank you for having me. I, of course, did a little more Halloween look today because I absolutely love Halloween. I'm going to go off my notes because if I start talking, I'll just keep talking. So anyways, my name is Mary Schwacker, and I'm 57 years old, and I've been cosplaying since the year 2000. As a COVID-19 lockdown and canceled all Comic-Cons and comic book expos, I'm here to talk about volunteering. There are a few favorites of mine that are a nonprofit 501c3 organization groups. I haven't followed, and if you'd like to help out, that would be great. A nonprofit organization means that we never charge a fee. This is all volunteer, and everything you do is your time is free. I found that I'm busier than ever. Instead of going to Comic-Cons or expos, that comic book stores, volunteering has been a great feeling for me. My heart loves to volunteer, and that's what I'll be doing from now on. One important thing is due to volunteering at the hospitals and being around children, please get your flu shot. It does hurt, ow. But yes, please get a flu shot for the time being every year. The last volunteer was at the Gallatin Library that I did. I was the fairy godmother, and we did a lot of videos regarding the new updates of the COVID-19 guidelines. So we all dressed up, did our cosplays, and did a few short videos for the library, and that will be up on their website. A few foundations and organizations, and I have to go by my notes, is Kids Can Cosplay on Instagram, March of Dimes of the Neonatal in Murfreesboro, which I live in Tennessee, and Bald in the Borough for St. Baldrick's is in Tennessee. Foundations and Costumers with a Cause, which is CWC National on Instagram, which is part of the Over 30 Cosplay. So if you'd like to volunteer or find out what you can do, please ask through our Over 30 Cosplay Facebook or Instagram. There's the Shriners Hospital for children, St. Jude's Hospitals, and Chalk Hospitals. Um, if you can't find any establishment, think about doing videos for kids because of the not having birthday parties and not feeling very good about not having any kind of party or interaction with other kids. Please try to get dressed up for the parents to find your videos for kids, FYI. Birthday videos could be generic. Don't say children's names because then you can use them over and over again. And don't say trademark names like, I'm Cruella DeVille. I want you to wish you happy birthday. Instead say, I hear someone's having a birthday party. Is there any puppies? I love puppies. And do that kind of videos of saying happy birthday, wishing you well, whatever, to infinity and beyond. It's okay to say those kind of things, but just not the characters that you're playing, which has a big trademark. Also, find out if your zoos have any kind of boo at the zoo. They do love around Halloween time volunteers to go and stand in line for the kids to take pictures with you. Remember, a smile is free and spreading happiness is free. My last words to you all. Remember, cosplay is for diversity in us all. We are all different. We come in different ages, of course, and sizes, and colors and genders. No one deserves to be judged, threatened, bullied, or trolled upon because their views are different. Please be kind. And thank you again, Over 30 Cosplay and San Diego Comic-Con at Home 2020. Hope to see you all next year.
Anders Hudson, it's actually Anders Scott Hudson, but he's an amazing, just absolutely amazing cosplayer, has tons of different group cosplays. They've one of the few people that have done like Batman, all the different peripheral characters cosplay. You're easily recognizable. Everybody always wants to do Batman himself, but who's doing the chief? Who's doing like the detectives? Who's doing whatever? These guys cover that. They have a great, huge Tusken Raider group of cosplayers that look right out of the movies. Anders, if you'd like to talk about group cosplay, we'd love to hear from you.
Hello, my name's Anders Hudson, and I'm 48 years old, and I've been cosplaying what I guess you could call cosplay since I was probably about 10 or 11, outside of traditional Halloween costumes or whatever have you. And I do a lot of my costuming with a group of folks. The youngest person in our group is about 19 years old, and the oldest person in our group is in his early 70s. One of the things that we discover as older folk doing group cosplays is that we have a lot of opportunities to sort of bring what we've learned in our adult lives from our skill sets, but as well as our workflow management to our cosplay projects. So we sort of start off with what we want to do, and we'll throw something in the air. Recently, we did a group of Tusken Raiders at Dragon Con last year. We did the House Atreides military uniforms, and even a lot of the high-end Battlestar Galactica costumes you see around are developed by our crew. So first thing we do is we decide what we're going to do. And then we look at it from sort of a workflow procedure. Who's going to source the materials? Who do we know that's good with multimedia? Attaching plastic to rubber to leather. Who are our tailors in the group? Who are our patterners in the group? Who are our metal workers and plastic workers? And we literally kind of divide things up by skill set. And so we have a really strong ability to maximize our capability to produce based on the fact that in addition to our hobbies, a lot of us have day jobs that allow us to do things. Everything from programmers that can program LED circuits to folks that are traditional. We have a guy in our crew who's a architect, and he's our patterner. Why? Because the guy can eyeball to 0.003 millimeters, no problem. And sourcing and logistics is a huge thing that we can take advantage of. I mean, for starters, none of us are really in the same area. Even the crew that's in the Bay Area, we're an hour and a half to 2 hours apart. So our ability to buy something and have it shipped to somebody's house so that they can finish a part, to ship a group of parts to another person's house to add another part to it, it's sort of a gigantic thing. And so tracking that schedule is a big deal. So typically what we'll do in our workflow is that we'll make, for example, a Facebook page so that every person that's involved with the project is on the page. And that allows us to set up our morgue files where we can get our source images, sketches of things we're going to build, demonstrations of work in progress, getting buy-in from everybody that's been charged to make something, that what they're making is okay by the rest of the group. You know, we've all had that group project where somebody's dragging their feet or goes off in a wrong direction, and it's always really good that, you know, even folks with the best intentions, we can kind of give feedback and say, hey, that might be a little heavy, or this could be stronger if you X, or you can cut that cost down by sourcing from this location. And being able to give that feedback real time, just like you would on any collaboration project. If you were doing some type of industrial design or software design or anything like that, we can do that with our costumes. And so with that, we also have the ability to get many eyes scouring the internet. You know, we've got one guy who's in the restaurant business, and we see something on a sci-fi network, and right off the bat, he goes, oh yeah, that's a type of tablecloth. Or the guy that's the industrial designer goes, oh, that's a static-free mat, you know? And so because we have so many different eyes in various professional circles, our ability to sort of spot and source the things that we're trying to emulate goes up pretty significantly. So, I think probably one of the other strongest things that we rely on heavily is workflow management with technology. As we're working with a group, you know, if you don't have a plan, you're just kind of bumbling around. You know, it will take forever. Nobody's really being tasked with times and deadlines. And so when we have a workflow management, and even if it's just a Facebook group where we're saying, I'm going to have these parts by Thursday, by Friday, they're going to be spray painted, by, you know, the following Saturday, the overmold's going to be dry, you know, whatever the case might be, you know, or, hey, our fabric's due in on Thursday and come over to the house on, you know, Friday and grab your 6 yards. Having groups like Facebook, Pinterest, Google Documents, you know, we can rely heavily on all these things now that are cheap, if not free, to sort of help us track what we're doing along the way, and again, share in real time. So, you know, I'm grateful for a lot of things as an older person who's getting into cosplay at that level, is that we have that ability to do real time, you know, collaboration. And the other thing is, you know, there's no wrong way to cosplay. You know, there's such a theory of, oh, well, you're, you know, 16, you couldn't possibly play this character, or you're 95, you couldn't possibly play this character. And we always tend to find a way to do it. You know, we had a group that went out as the animated version of Disney's Atlantis, and there were ages all over the map, and everybody found a character that they adhered to nicely, even though sometimes the age ranges were, you know, 10, 15 years out of what the original character was. Because of the strength of that group and because of the strength of the overall presentation, everybody, regardless of who they were, really embodied that character, even though they may not have, you know, matched the world perfectly in, you know, age, body type, or what have you. So there's a lot to be said about, you know, as a group having sort of a definitive focus that you're driving for, and everybody lifting each other up to really sell the concept of the group. You know, again, you might have seen some of my friend John and Jeff started a Stargate group at DragonCon that's been there for, you know, 6, 7 years at a time. And a couple of the people were picked because it was like, hey, you look like so-and-so. And then, you know, they of course embodied that celebrity that was in the show, but then there were plenty of people that didn't. And so then they're like, well, hey, I want to play too. Well, guess what? You know, we could put them in the Anubis costumes or the Ra costumes or the whoever, and provide that sort of ancillary set dressing. And then, so if you have that one person who, you know, doesn't necessarily sell the concept by themselves, you put 3 or 4 other people who are at the same time selling that concept, You can make your group cosplays phenomenally effective, where an individual wouldn't be that strong. It's sort of like how the collective whole is stronger than the sum of the individual numbers, or something like that. I'm sure there's a quote anywhere. Anyway, the top 3 takeaways are, look for specializations within your group. Let people volunteer their core skill sets. With the younger group, they may not have the younger folks in the group, they may not have the skill set, but they may have fresh eyes to bring that a lot of the older folks don't do. We have some of our younger people come all the time and go, hey, have you used Hubita Schlubita? And it's like, no, what is that? Oh, well, it's a nylon polymer that, goes into your microwave. And we're like, wow, we wish we had this. And at the same time, we can teach them about, precision machining and 3D printing and patterning gussets and that kind of thing, that are just life skills that we've picked up along the way. And so there's this really strong trade-off there in that. Teamwork, hold each other accountable to complete your tasks, because we all get busy, we all get tired, especially those of us who are working adults with day jobs and kids and families and whoever. Having that team there to create that teamwork, to manage that workflow, to hold each other accountable, super strong. And number 3, have a plan and use some kind of a collaboration tool to keep that plan on task with everybody. And you'll discover that your results are just phenomenal. Anyway, thank you for the time, and we hope to see you all out there soon.
I hope Bill puts that in that face.
Right, yeah, I know. Right, and then we have Patricia Tallman, who is, you've probably seen her in Babylon 5, Dawn of the Dead.
Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead, thank you. And she's been in Star Trek, a lot of other really, really cool shows, and I'd love to turn it over to you, Pat.
Thank you, John. Thanks so much. You're so sweet. I love the Over 30 Cosplay community, because that's where I really started to connect to cosplay. I've always loved it. I've always enjoyed it. But the community of cosplay is rather mind-blowing. It's just so welcoming and expanding, and it gives people a chance who've always seen it. Oh, that looks so cool, but how do I even start? Or who am I to think that I could dress up like this hero that I have? But in Over 30 Cosplay, you learn that it doesn't matter who you are, how old you are, what you look like, what your body type is, what your skin color is. You can be anything you want. And the whole entire community embraces you and gives you a leg up to help you decide, like, how do I want to express myself? Maybe you already know what that is. Maybe you already have a character that you've always identified with, or maybe you've developed your own character that's completely unique to you. And it's so embracing. It's so much fun. And then this community reaches out to other communities. In other words, the cosplay community also works with neighboring hospitals, or works with a kids charity, promoting the charity, showing up for the kids. And the children, you should see their eyes light up when they see their favorite superhero there in person. It's like having Disneyland in your neighborhood, right there, just for the family, just for the kids. They're setting these massively positive examples of what grown-ups can do, and still be playful, and still bring out that, the kid inside all of us. The thing about cosplay too is I think it gives us a chance to really explore who we are and who we want to be in this world, not only through superheroes that we know and love, but maybe it's a mashup of some characters that you love. Maybe it's something that you're going to create through your own inner exploring, or because you want to riff on some great idea. It can be serious. It can be like Wonder Woman, where you're really putting out a positive role model for young women and little girls. But it could also be like you just have a great sense of humor, and you think of something that would be hysterically funny, and you want to do it with your friends. You want to put it together and show up at a convention, or show up at a community event where you can really reach out and make people smile and become this massive photo op. The thing about creating a character, and as an actress, I immediately respond to this, is that you are really looking inside to create something unique and special, your expression of that. Because no matter how many Wonder Women you see, no one's going to be the Wonder Woman that you are, or the Superman that you are, or whatever your character is. You could create anything. Your sense of humor comes through, your empathy starts to show up, because as an actor, we're always trying to understand what is that character thinking? What's going on inside? How do I bring that forth? Am I expressing something serious and sad today so that people can reflect? Or am I experiencing something where I would love to bring a sense of humor to this? Or I want to be badass. You know, I just want to show up in a way that I know my inner self is, right? Like it's your inner self, and you want to show that and bring that forward. I think a lot of us feel that way. We're kind of stuck in this adult frame that we've grown up in, and we're socialized to be this adult, but there's still that playful, creative spirit that doesn't age. There's no age to that spirit. And I love
your
that.
inner child.
That's right, exactly. Remember, we had that lady who showed up at a panel, I think it was at San Diego Comic-Con, and she was like in her 70s and wanted to get started. And who was the cosplayer who plays Wonder Woman that I just think is so awesome in our group? She was like, oh my God, you're my new best friend. I'm gonna make you into whoever you want to be. It was so exciting in that moment, just to see these possibilities are absolutely happening all the time. And that's why I love Over 30, because you might not know where to start, but somebody is going to be able to take you by the hand and say, oh, I know exactly what you're trying to do. I am absolutely.
Yep, exactly, yeah.
And if you don't know where to get the costume, either it depends on your creativity level. Do you want to make your costume, or do you want to just buy a costume, or do you want to tweak a costume? You can, any of that goes. All of it works. There's no rules.
Yep.
It's all just about.
I've seen people like even cosplaying your characters from the Babylon 5 series, right? And there's some that are so elaborate, they've obviously handmade every single piece,
right.
And then there's others that they bought something, that they found on Etsy, or even like, just Google costume, bought it, and then they add a couple pieces, but it still looks amazing. And
right.
it's really not about how it looks, it's more about how comfortable you are with it, what you feel, are you having fun? Because that's the whole point, is play. It's
right.
costume play,
right?
So are you having fun? Are you expressing your inner child? Are you out there, doing what you want to do? And if not, is somebody there like us, or you, or, whatever, that can help you? So
it's an amazing community, and I think that it's really easy to feel isolated, and certainly right now we are isolated. So to have an online community that you can chat with and come up with ideas together and get support and say, hey, I'm doing this thing. Well, there's other nerds there who are going to totally get what you're doing. Oh, you did?
Right.
You did that by hand? Holy smokes. And most people are going, what?
Yep.
But our group will be like, yeah, you did the thing. That's so awesome. You're brave about it. It takes courage to step out and be creative, and to stand in front of people and demand attention, which is what putting on a costume does. You are asking for a certain amount of attention, right? And the great thing is, when you're with a whole group of people that are all in costume, you'd feel weird if you weren't in costumes. So
yeah.
It really is a total blast. So I'm here to encourage you. If you haven't tried it and you've thought about playing and going out there and doing something great for your community, get in touch, go to Facebook and look up Over 30 Cosplay and start to just chat with folks and see how you can participate. And if you are a cosplayer and you don't have a community, please join the group and be a part of it. Age is not an issue. It doesn't matter. Just come on in and you'll hear about events. You'll hear about how to make money as a cosplayer. You're going to hear about, you know, how do I travel? Just even make travel expenses. And, you know, right now, of course, we're in a lockdown, but that's all going to change. And it'll change, hopefully, next 6 months to a year, we'll be back on the road. And it really, it's an extraordinary art form to participate in. It is so beneficial in so many ways. You know, it'll get to the point where you're going to feel like you're only really yourself when you're playing out there in cosplay. That's when you're really truly yourself.
Yeah. There's quite a few people that are like that, yeah, where their happiest moments are in costume, and they spend, you know, every couple weekends or every single weekend they can out in costume and different costumes. And then there's other people that, you know, it's like once every 2 or 3 months, or, you know, only big cons or whatever. But having you as an advocate for us is amazing, and thank you very, very, very much.
You're so sweet. You know, I bring this to my groups too. I have now added cosplay I lead adventure retreats for nerds. And we went to New Zealand, and I had everybody dress up one time for a hike to kind of put their characters together. I gave them the cloak, and then they put all their other stuff together. And we had people stopping us to take pictures with us, and they were just like, oh my God, what is it? It lights you up like nothing you've ever seen. So yes, get out there, join.
Was it a Lord of the Rings kind of, you know, because it was in, it was
in New Zealand. So sorry, it's Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, you have your themed adventures that you host, and I mean, those are great as well. So yeah, I would do that.
I mean, I've seen what cosplay can do, and I really wanted to incorporate that for the group. So, and we did it at a time we're all doing it together. So everyone they might feel a little silly at first, but after a while you're in it, and we shot scenes, and we just had a blast. We just played and had a blast. And there's no age limit to this kind of thing.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much, Pat.
My pleasure.
Love you. Love you to death.
Too. So, all of you out there. Mwah. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. And Sherman, the next person that's going to be talking to us is Sherman Blakely. You have probably seen him online or at different conventions. He's known as a Green Mile cosplayer and looks exactly like the lead character, well, the supporting character in the Green Mile. You will instantly just fall in love with him. Great person, great personality. Sherman, would you like to talk to us?
Your little balls. Hi, my name's Sherman Blakely, and I'm representing Over 30 Cosplay today, and I'm here to talk about branding and exposure in this this weird time that we're having these days. This is kind of odd for me because I'm used to dealing with people and, you know, face to face. So, you know, bear with me here, and I'll do the best I can. You'd think this would be easy for me as an actor, but this really isn't. I'm used to having direction and somebody actually telling me, you know, pointing me in the right direction and, you know, all that other stuff. But right now I have my lovely daughter helping me here, so just bear with me. I've been asked to speak about my journey thus far as the character I represent, John Coffey from the Green Mile. And, well, it starts off with a little story here. I'll give you a little background. Back in 2013, it kind of all started as a big goof on Halloween. I didn't really have any ideals of what I was going to do, you know, as far as having a costume or anything. And, you know, me and my eldest daughter, Mahala, were kind of, you know, she was really concerned that we weren't going to have a good time at Halloween, or I wasn't going to find anything to wear. So I kind of just, you know, felt discouraged, and I go, My daughter tells me, Daddy, we're not going to find anything. And I tell her, it's going to be okay, boss. And she says, why don't you do the Green Mile guy? So that's kind of where it started. I went out, got myself a pair of overalls, and we went out at Halloween, and we knew something kind of magical was happening. People just kind of started going nuts, and from there, that's kind of where this trip started. Before Halloween was even over, my buddy Rich Ware suggested that we go out to Fremont Street just to see, what would happen out there. I didn't really want to do it, to be honest with you. I was kind of scared inside, but reluctantly I did. And it was the best move I ever made in my entire life. I instantly knew what I wanted to do forever. I knew acting, it seethed and seamed itself into my body, and that was it. Armed with that knowledge, I instantly knew how to deal with gaining exposure, meeting people up front, face to face. Before Halloween was even over, my buddy Rich Ware suggested that we go out to Fremont Street just to see, what would happen out there. I didn't really want to do it, to be honest with you. I was kind of scared inside, but reluctantly I did. And it was the best move I ever made in my entire life. I instantly knew what I wanted to do forever. I knew acting, it seethed and seamed itself into my body, and that was it. Armed with that knowledge, I instantly knew how to deal with gaining exposure, meeting people up front, face to face. So what now? Now it's time to change gears. Social media is a big help, but it's really hard to navigate, and it's really crazy right now. So what I'm going to do for myself is just take a step back and get back to my roots, start pounding the streets and meeting people, one-on-one, giving my inspiration and passing on my message that way. So from Over 30 Cosplay, we got Big John Coffee here, and I'll see you guys walking the mile, balls.
Thank you, Sherman. Really, really appreciate that. And lastly, our roving reporter, she takes most of the amazing photos you see on the Over 30 Cosplay page. She's been to every single con in the United States, multiple cons outside of the United States. She's always looking for new people to photograph and find, ways to make sure that they're getting the attention they deserve for the great work they've done. Here's Jen Greeley, and she has not only some great photos, but some special comments and characters that she's found that she'd like to share with you.
Hey, Mabel here. Jen. Anyways, talking about cosplay. Happy to be here, and I'm happy to be the reporter and the photographer for Over 30 Cosplay. I love being the admin too. It's so much fun seeing everybody. Wish we could be together at San Diego Comic-Con, but this is the next best thing. So I have lots of things to say. I know you've heard lots already, but hopefully you can stick around just for a few more minutes to hear what I have to say. I'm so excited about it. I can't wait to see you at a convention. So get ready, here we go. Just here to talk a little bit about Over 30 Cosplay, the community that John created. He created it for us so we can feel comfortable, so we can feel involved, so we can feel part of a group of people. I love that, it's so important. He created a role for myself as roving reporter, and I'm happy to fulfill that and help him out and, be the admin on the site and work really hard with that. There is so much joy and community spirit that comes from all of the people that look at the pictures, watch the pictures, see all of the people that are out there creating, and it motivates people. It makes people feel comfortable, and in order to go sometimes to events, you have to feel comfortable and know that you're not alone. Even if you go there alone, you are not alone. There's this beautiful community of people who are over 30, and we are there for each other. I have that role, like I said, of roving reporter, but I also have a role of photographer. Just like Piper in Fallout, I am so lucky I get to go all over the country and take pictures of you and all your gorgeous costumes. The hard work, dedication, pride, exhilaration in your voice makes it such a great experience for me, and I feel that's what shows in pictures. I think it is amazing, and I'm so happy that I get to do that. The other thing that I get to do is I get to hear your great stories. Just like Rita, I try to get all of them from you. I try to find out your secrets, and I try to find out how you did things, and I share them with everybody. But, of course, only with permission. Not like some people that doesn't share with permission. I always ask permission, and I always share with only permission. Anyways, so among that other stuff, there are some things that I'd like to share with you about costuming. So many costumes to choose from. You could dress like a dragon riding girl. Show your claws. Keep sending that message out there. Hey, I love this fandom. I love this character. Hey, are you out there? Can you hear me? You know what? We're out there. We can hear you. We can see that. When you wear a costume, no matter what it is, people can see that you love the character. And that's what makes a costume on someone a great photo. And that's what I look for. Hey, you guys, wear what you want. Wear what you're happy with. Wear what you want. What makes you happy. You have to be happy. Whether it's something weird, unusual, fantastic. If you're happy, you're going to look happy. You're going to feel happy, and the picture is going to be tremendous and stupendous and fantastic. I forgot to mention the most important thing. Have fun. Have fun with your friends. Have fun wearing your costume. Have fun, have fun, have fun. Because part of this, well, I don't know, for some of us, maybe all of it is having fun. Having fun with friends, meeting new people to have fun with, having fun with our family, having fun at a new place, at a convention. Just have fun. And we're to the end. I am so excited I got a chance to talk to everybody, and I got to say a few things and let you know kind of where I'm at with stuff, and I can't wait to meet you. If you see me at a convention, this is kind of what I'll look like unless you see me in a costume. I don't have one go-to. I wear tons of different ones, and if you see me in regular clothes, it means I'm in super heavy, massively intense photoing of people in costume. So please, please, please stop, say hi, tell me about your costume, tell me about yourself. I want to hear it. I want to meet people in our family. I want our community to grow. I want our community to be happy. I want our community to just be so everything. I'm so happy. I love this. Hey, like I said, I love it, love it, love it. You can do anything, you can be anything, and man, you can have so much fun. So next time I see you, I hope it's at a convention. I'll take your picture, we'll put it up on Over30Cosplay, and it will be phenomenal. Have fun, be careful, wear your mask, and don't forget, support your black and brown cosplayers and your LGBTQ+ cosplayers. We're in it together.
Right. Thank you, Jen. That was awesome. I love seeing those people and seeing the different characters and cosplayers that you found out there, especially all the different diversity that you were able to find. And thank you, everyone in the Over 30 cosplay world. Just as a reminder, we're on every different social media platform that you will find. And if you are looking for specific groups just for your own age, you might be 50, you might be 70, whatever, just change the number. It's over 30 cosplay, over 40 cosplay, over 50 cosplay, 60, 70, etc. Somebody will be there for you, and you'll have your own affinity group. The main group, and where you see most of the events and most of the photos, is going to be over 30 cosplay. We love having you as a member. We love having you as a fan, and we are fans of your work. And one quick little secret that we hid from everybody. We'd like to introduce you to Chad Edward Lee Evett, who is a awesome costume designer. And he's going to finish this up, wrap this up for you with some great costume designs, great ideas on how to make costumes work for you.
Good morning. I am Facebook liberal personality and internationally ignored costume. Good morning. I am liberal Facebook personality and internationally ignored cosplayer Chad Hatter. When I was asked to add a little blurb to this particular panel, I jumped at the possibility of... Good morning. I am costume designer and cosplayer Chad Evett. I'm also known online as Chad Hatter. And when my good friend David asked me to do this panel, I unfortunately said no because I was just too busy. But then he asked me to film a little trailer to go at the back of it, and I thought, you know what, that's something I can do in my pajamas, which is what I'm currently wearing. The Cosplay Over 30 community has been inclusive and welcoming to every single person who has ever had any interest in being a part of it, provided they were over 30. We wouldn't want any toddlers in it, toddlers of course being everyone from 0 to 20, and we wouldn't want any teenagers in it, teenagers of course being everyone from 50 upwards. But for those kiddos lucky enough to be just over 30, we welcome you to be part of this community. We welcome you to be with us. We want you to throw on a costume and party hardy har har with us. So if you're watching this, it means you lasted the entire panel, and chapeau mate, good for you. Our world is in turmoil. There's diseases running rampant. There's people who are not looking after each other. So if we as a community can band together and look after each other for just a moment, that is what is most important. And if we can do it in a costume respectfully, that's even more important, because someday conventions will return. For those of you that don't know, conventions were gatherings of costumed people and nerds that happened in the before times in the long, long ago. It's 7 a.m. and I'm just now having my coffee. So I'm going to leave you with that. And thank you for watching.
That's fantastic.
Thank you very, very much, San Diego Comic-Con and your Comic-Con at home. We very much appreciate being invited and look forward to seeing you live next year.